What's up, everybody? My name is Daniel Unmanageable, and this is Hard Knocks Talks. Tonight's show is brought to you in part by Prairie Sky Recovery Center, the Elizabeth Fry Society of Saskatchewan, the Community Addictions Peer Support Association, Stronger Together Canada peer-led support groups by Mom Stop the Harm, and Carter's Counseling. Tonight's guest, Jennifer Capel, was overprescribed pain meds for 15 years. It wasn't until she ended up in front of a new doctor that the madness finally ended, and we are going to hear her story right after this.
I spent 23 years living in addiction. 16 of those years, I worked as a Red Seal tradesperson in Saskatchewan and Northern Alberta. During that time, I made many mistakes and took more than a few hard knocks. I went from tradesman to business owner to hiding from gang members and dumpster diving. But with that lived experience, I've decided to try and make a change. I've dedicated my life to raising awareness and promoting change in the fields of substance use and psychological health and safety. So join me and my guests as we take off the blinders around mental health in our communities and at work, and shine a light on what's working and what's not working in the fields of mental health and occupational health and safety. I'm Daniel Unmanageable, and I'll be your host, and this is Hard Knocks Talks.
Okay, let's bring in Jennifer. Hey, Jennifer, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's good to see that you're not frozen.
Yeah.
Jennifer's
It's a nice touch.
yeah. Jennifer's everything froze like 10 minutes before showtime, and we lost all communications, and it was quite stressful there for a minute. But we're here now. So, is there anything that you would like to say before we get started tonight?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what to say. I'd like to say hi to my son. He's the reason I'm still sitting here, so.
Awesome. Okay, well, let's jump in. So before we get into your experiences with doctors here, why don't you give us a little bit of background and tell us what it was like growing up?
Growing up was great for me. I have two amazing parents and an amazing sister. Really good upbringing. Parents were always there. And yeah, high school was good. I wasn't a crazy kid or anything. Not yet.
Yeah. Was there
But,
drinking at home and anything like that?
my dad would have the occasional beer, maybe after hockey, but nothing serious.
So their addiction doesn't run in the family or anything like that.
Well, I suspect there might be a few of us. I won't say who, though.
So did you make friends easy in high school?
I did.
And I
I was the
understand.
joker in class, so.
Oh yeah. And I understand you didn't drink. Like even you would go to parties and you wouldn't drink or even have the desire to.
No, I didn't. I would show up with orange juice, and everyone's like, "Oh, vodka and orange." It's like,
Yeah.
no, just orange juice.
No, just orange. Get off my back. So did you graduate?
I did.
What did you do after high school?
I took a few years off, and then I moved to Vancouver, and I went to school there.
What'd you take?
I took makeup artistry for special effects for film.
Really?
Yeah, and I still love it. It's so much fun.
You're still doing it to this day?
I wish I was.
Yeah.
My fibromyalgia kind of prevents me from doing that, but
Yeah.
hopefully after my surgery, if I'm doing a lot better, I want to get back into doing that.
Yeah. So you were diagnosed with fibromyalgia at a young age, at 18 years old, correct?
I was.
So how did you manage that throughout your teens and 20s?
It was tough, but it was just starting,
Hmm.
so it wasn't too bad yet. Like I could manage the pain at that
Hmm.
point,
Yeah. And you were
but
on you were
it
on
just
meds
it
at
got
that point,
worse and
right?
worse. I was.
But not habit forming. Um,
No, not habit forming.
you didn't end up. How old were you the first time you got drunk?
I think I was like 20 years old. I went
Yeah.
to the bar for the first time.
Yeah. See, and
It was
that's
fun.
yeah. And when you told me that the first time, I was like, man, when I turned like the second I turned 19, um, it was. I was like at the bar right away. Like, and you waited a whole year before you went. Like, it's just how what I'm saying is like you don't really like have the I don't want to say stereotypical, but the average sort of addiction type story. So
I don't think so. I was talking to one girl and she's like, Jen, she's like, are you even an addict?
so
But I
but
was.
something happened when you were 21 that sort of led you down that path for a while. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I was sexually assaulted when I was 21. It was right before my 22nd birthday. And after that, I became severely depressed and suicidal.
Yeah. And what did you do to cope?
I went drinking. I went out drinking every night with my friends.
Mm-hmm.
There's always somewhere to go every night of the week, right? So,
Yeah. Was that in Regina?
yeah, I was in Regina.
Yeah. Yeah. We had that here in Saskatoon too. I think I could probably still name the names of the bars every night.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what brought that to an end?
I met my ex-husband and we got into a serious relationship. I fell in love and I didn't feel like I needed that so much anymore to go out and get blasted every night.
So you just put it down. You didn't seek any sort of outside help or peer support or anything.
No, I just put it down.
Huh. Did the so at some point you ended up in the psych ward
I
due
did.
to depression that was related to your sexual assault, but it was a couple of years later, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So how did you end up in the psych ward? Did you call them or did someone take you?
My ex-husband took me to see the doctor and she sent me to emergency right away. I
And
was in a
from
good shape. I was really depressed.
yeah. So
And
tell
drinking kind
yeah.
of helped me escape from that a little bit, you know?
Yeah. So did you notice that like when you stopped drinking when you met your now ex, did you notice that depression creeping in slowly or was it an all at once thing? I'm just try to help us understand how you navigated through that.
It just got worse day by day. And sorry, my cat sneezed.
I heard that.
Um, you're, just in case you're wondering what that was. Sorry, where was I? I should have
We
shut the door.
no, that's fine. That's fine. We got a giant dog in here too. It's okay. Um, we were talking about how you navigated the depression when you stopped drinking.
I was just happy and in love. So,
Uh-huh.
the depression went away for a while.
Yeah. So it was a bit of a distraction, and then slowly it crept in, and you ended up in the psych ward. How long were you in there
Yeah,
for?
just a week.
Did you tell them
I
why you
could.
were? Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, you go ahead.
Did you tell them why you were struggling? Like, did you tell them about the assault?
Yeah, I told the nurse, and she said, "Don't bother taking it to court. They're just gonna make you look like a whore."
Really? So he never
Yeah,
was reported?
I wish I
Hmm.
would have, but I didn't. I was
Yeah.
scared of him and his friends.
So so then what happened when you left the psych ward?
Uh, just went home and tried to rest and take care of myself.
Did they offer
Um,
you like any like aftercare or counseling or make any
no,
recommendations?
nothing like that.
Did they give you any
They, they,
medication?
they, they weren't as helpful as they should have been. Like, I can't imagine telling a young girl that in a hospital, you know?
Yeah. And they didn't give you any other advice? They kept you for a week and
No, yeah, and she said, "Don't bother." She's like, "They'll make you look like a whore in court." So,
huh. And then after
yeah,
they just held you for a week and that was it.
and that was it. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And you continued abstinent from alcohol and drugs and everything like that after the psych ward. How long did that last? Like, did you ever go back drinking or?
I went drinking out here and there with friends, but it wasn't like every night getting super wasted.
Uh-huh. So then you started seeing a doctor. Tell us how you got connected with this doctor that started prescribing different meds.
Yeah, so I met this doctor, and I had seen other doctors, but it was like Tylenol 1s and Tylenol 3s, and then I met this doctor, and all of a sudden it was fentanyl and hydromorphone and like over a dozen other meds. I was like super highly medicated.
Did it?
Like my medical team doesn't even know how I functioned on a daily basis.
Mhm. And what was it like in his clinic? You were saying that there were other like regulars in there quite frequently. Did anything ever
Yeah,
strike you as odd?
yeah, I was there in his one office in the city, and all these young kids are like going in and out of his office, and a couple of them came up and they're talking to their friends, and they're asking, "Did you get your juice? Did you get your juice?" And it was like a big party
Hmm.
in the waiting room, and that just struck me as very strange.
Yeah.
So,
Um, so did it help at first? I mean, like you must have gone to different doctors because you were struggling with pain, like correct?
yeah, I did.
So
I did.
when you first got into this fentanyl and hydromorph, were you like, this is the ticket, man, I feel great? Or was it like bad right from the start?
Oh no, at first I felt like I could take the whole world,
Mm-hmm.
and I felt great. But as time went on and my dose went higher and higher, it got worse and worse.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like I had the perfect life and it turned into a total nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
I lost everything.
When you say the perfect life, like what do you mean?
In love and married to the man I love, and I had a beautiful young son. We are trying to have uh, more children. We had a beautiful home. We had family businesses. I couldn't have asked for a better life.
Mm-hmm.
I was
And
treated well.
yeah. And what did it ever come to a point where you started questioning the doctor? Like, did you want to reduce your doses or even try different medications? Like, what did you try to do to get regain your life?
Well, I wanted to reduce my dose, but he would always say, "Jennifer, you're going to be suffering. It's going to get worse." So I
Mm-hmm.
would listen because, I thought that doctors knew everything and that they were there to help you.
Mm-hmm. So
but not so much.
did it ever come to a place where you would get drugs from the street?
No, never.
So he kept
I've
you.
on the street. I
Sorry?
was there- doctor was
Oh,
always there to give, so I never had to go to the streets.
wow. Yeah, you kind of cut out there for a minute. Did someone start using the internet in the house? Or no, you're on mobile data.
Right? Yeah, I am.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think we're back again now. It's all good. Um, so even when you asked him to reduce your dose, he wouldn't do it.
Yeah, he really didn't want to, and I managed to get it down a few times, but it just went back up.
Yeah,
Um, my husband had pretty much had it at that point,
yeah.
my
So
ex-husband.
yeah. So what
I
were
was
some
trying to get
things?
off of it.
Yeah. Did you ever try to just go cold turkey?
No, because like even if I was late with putting like a fentanyl patch on my body,
Mm-hmm.
it was like chaos.
Mm-hmm.
It was just stress and just going through withdrawal was hell.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So what were some of the things that started happening in your life that like when you started to notice there was a downturn in the way that you were able to get through the day?
um, well, I went to see a new doctor and she noticed something was wrong and she sent me to see a specialist. And I had seen the specialist like 3 times, but I only remember the third time and I only remember a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And she pretty much pronounced me dead to my face and that I shouldn't be here.
Mm-hmm.
And then I left the office and I walked down the hall into a wall. And then I went to the front desk to ask to see my doctor, who I had just seen.
Yeah. So, but before you ended up at a new doctor, though, I mean, you lost like everything, and I'm sure
Oh,
certainly you went to this old doctor, and certainly he must have noticed your health was declining. Um,
yeah,
so
you think so?
yeah, so like tell us a little bit, um, like your husband left because
Yeah,
like what
my
were
husband,
you unable to just like get through the day? Were you sleeping all day? You mentioned that you were even losing hair and things. Like do you remember?
and
Like what was that
teeth.
like? And
It was
teeth.
awful. It was just awful. And I'm I don't think he cared enough to notice, to be honest, just knowing the type of man he is.
Hmm.
Like he was super rude. Like after an appointment, he would tell me to get out and use
Hmm.
those words like get out.
Yeah, you mentioned that you went in there crying one time because your life was in chaos and he didn't receive that well. Tell us about that.
No, I went in and I was super depressed and I was crying and crying. And he told me if I didn't stop, he wouldn't be my doctor anymore. So basically, he was just there to fill up my fentanyl prescription and then tell me to get out.
Hmm. He had a methadone clinic as well, didn't he?
He did, and it got shut down.
Yeah. But he was still able to prescribe you painkillers.
Oh, he got it shut down like years later.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But he was always there to like write me the prescription.
Huh. Wow. So finally you end up with your new doctor. And did she notice right away or did it take some time for her to realize that there was an issue here? Like certainly this isn't normal pain meds for fibromyalgia, is it?
Uh, no, I've talked to a few doctors, and they've told me that when you're on fibromyalgia, you shouldn't be prescribed fentanyl. It doesn't do anything. So I don't really understand what this other doctor is thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it ruined my life, pretty much.
Yeah. And how long did that go on for?
How long did what go on for?
Like how long did you go on taking this fentanyl and hydromorph and these other medications?
It was a lethal dose for 15 years.
Wow. What did your family say during this time? Like, where's mom and dad and everybody?
Um, I'm not sure what they thought because it just wasn't talked about.
Really? So were you
But
involved with your family at all? Like, did you go for supper there and hang out with mom and dad at all?
not when I was super medicated. Like I lost family and friends, and you know, I guess they just had it with me. I'm not sure.
Hmm. So tell us a little bit more about um, what did the new doctor say to you when you went in there? Was it within the first appointment that she said these things have to
Yes,
change?
yeah, she
Okay,
did.
okay, and
Really
she,
nice lady. Like she actually cared.
yeah, yeah. So, so then what? You
Well,
go to your, yeah.
yeah. So I went and saw a specialist that she recommended, and she helped me. I went on suboxone, and yeah, she really helped me out. I had an amazing medical team. They were super supportive and super helpful.
Mhm. And were you able to? So Suboxone, what was it like? Tell us about what it was like going on Suboxone. Was it like night and day right away, or did it take some time to adjust?
Oh, it was night and day right away. I knew I felt different because, I was like, I had a little more pep in my step and I just seemed a lot happier.
Hmm.
It was nice to have my mind back. Like I felt like a human again.
Yeah. So was this doctor ever investigated or charged?
That's a good question. He should be because he's
Yeah.
still practicing.
Yeah. Even with his methadone clinic shut down.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And I saw another young girl that he was treating in a different clinic, and he had her on fentanyl for 7 years already, and she was like super young.
Hmm.
Terrible.
Hmm. So tell us about your first year in recovery.
Uh, it was tough, I'm not gonna lie,
Hmm.
but my biggest motivation was my son. I knew I had to get better for him.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about the like your support system. Did you go to meetings?
No, I didn't, but I wish I would have thought to do that. I might still do that.
Oh yeah.
I don't know, just to like, I just like to meet other people that, have been through it and that
Mhm.
understand and that don't judge.
Mhm. So through all of that, was there ever any time where you were seeking, like you were using the drugs to cope with your mental state?
I maybe I was, maybe I was.
Hmm.
Like I said at the beginning, like I felt so great, but pretty soon I wasn't feeling so great after a
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah. So like it just wasn't taking the pain away anymore.
Oh, yeah, like I don't know if it ever did.
Yeah. So like how much were you on? Like at the peak, like how much?
So I was on 275 milligram patches of fentanyl, 150 milligram, and then 150 hydromorphone, and then over a dozen other meds. I can't remember all the names, but yeah, I was super highly medicated.
We've got some comments coming in here. Let's see. I don't know why my comments aren't really coming through into my software today, but let's have a look here. Donna says, thanks for the comment, Donna. She says, how brave you are to speak up about this. I had a doctor that wasn't hesitant to give me opiates. Not to the extent that you expressed, but still, this was prior to the lid being blown off the issue. Thanks for the comment, Donna. We've got Gretel saying, you should find a meeting. It will help. You are not alone. So did you think about meetings like when you were early on? Did your medical team ever like say, hey, why don't you check out a meeting?
No, nobody did.
Yeah. Well, it's not for everyone.
But like, I wish I would have.
Yeah. Well, it's never too late. So what did you do then? In early on and moving forward, you keep mentioning that you had a really great medical team. Tell us a little bit about the supports that you had put in place to keep you in your recovery.
Oh, like I was in there in the clinic every other day, and the whole team was just so supportive. Even when I didn't see it, like they would tell me, Jen, you're doing so good. But I just didn't see it because I was just still in that state of like shame. I was just ashamed.
Yeah.
That it happened to me.
Yeah. So you'd mentioned that one of the nurses actually did some counseling with you.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah. Was there ever any point where do you ever miss it? Do you ever miss
Fentanyl?
Do you ever miss the drugs? Yeah. Like, is there ever any time where you start craving it?
No. I didn't relapse. I was so done. Like 15 years is long enough.
Yeah. Yes, it is. I did 5 years on fentanyl, and yeah, I've got some crazy stories myself.
I bet.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about what your life is like today now that you have this, you're properly medicated. I'm assuming. What do you do to manage yourself, like when your thoughts start to go sideways?
My son is my motivation for everything. So, I just want to be the best mom I can be.
Mm-hmm.
And we're super close.
Yeah. How old is he now?
He's 19.
So has there ever been any times where you've like gone off your suboxone? Like, has anything like that ever happened?
I've got my meds late before I have them delivered, and it's not such a good feeling.
Yeah.
I get those. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we've got some more comments coming in. Amanda saying, you are so courageous to shine some light on this topic. I lost 3 friends by mismanaged pain meds by healthcare providers. Damn, Amanda, thanks for sharing. That's tragic. Elizabeth is saying, definitely meetings will be good to relate to others. Doors always open. So tell us about today. You mentioned to me that you paint.
I do.
Yes, I forgot. And you have some of your paintings there, don't you?
Maybe.
Are we going to be brave enough to see them?
Well, one is only mine, and it's not the good one, so.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Sorry.
So it's all right. So, and you do some writing and journaling as well. Why do you write?
I do. I do a lot of writing just to because so much of that, like when I was highly medicated, there's so much that was just a blur
Mm-hmm.
that I write down everything I can remember and try to make sense of it. But like I had told you earlier, fentanyl's like coming out of a coma.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like stepping out of a time warp for me. It's like 8 years
It's
went by.
crazy.
All my friends got a little older, and like here I am. It was the craziest feeling. What's that? Oh, okay, that's okay. We got a question coming up here. David is asking, do you have any desire to get off Suboxone?
I do. I do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but right now my fibromyalgia is so bad. I need something to help with that pain.
Mm-hmm. So
Otherwise, I don't have much quality of life.
yeah, so the Suboxone acts as a pain suppressant as well.
It does. It
Okay.
helps. And I like it because I don't feel like I'm high. Like that's why I chose Suboxone over methadone.
Yeah. 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 So you have aspirations to write a book, and in fact, you've been published. The who was it? The Canadian Mental Health
Health
Association,
Canada.
Health Canada.
Health.
Th-
Yeah.
they approached you to write an article, or did you call them?
No, they approached me.
Okay.
Um, they they said my story was rare, so
Where
they
did they
wanted
hear
to
your
use it.
story?
Uh, I think it was from the pharmacist in the office.
Okay.
They were looking for somebody, and she said she knew right away who it should be. She picked
Hmm.
me, so
And what was your article about?
it was basically just telling my story and promote well-being and just showing people like if I can do this, so can you. Anyone
Hmm.
can.
Hmm.
You just really have to put your mind to it. You have to be motivated.
Hmm. So it was, I think you mentioned before, it was um, something to do with Suboxone awareness.
Yeah, it was a booklet for Suboxone for
Hmm.
people going on to Suboxone, getting off opiates.
Hmm.
I got the same booklet when I went off, and it helped me. So
Did it have your story in it? That'd be creepy. Wow, this is really interesting. So, with all of this writing that you're doing, are you filling in the gaps? Like, is the timeline starting to make sense for you over time?
yeah, it is. It's all coming together,
Mm-hmm.
which is nice because yeah, I wasn't able to remember a whole heck of a lot near the end there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you have a company actually is interested in publishing for you. Is that correct?
Well, I've talked to them about it, but I've never written a book, so I'm gonna
Yeah,
have to look into that a little bit more first.
yeah, yeah. Okay, and I guess that's really all I got for you tonight, my friend. Um,
Oh, okay.
yeah. Unless there's anything else you'd like to touch on, we've got some time.
Uh, oh, I don't know if you wanted to talk about that or not, but I did miscarry when I was
Right, right.
on
You,
fentanyl. I was going through fertility treatment. My ex-husband and I were trying to have more kids,
yeah.
and
And this is
yeah, I ended up,
when you were using, correct?
yes.
Did your doctor know that you were pregnant when, like he was prescribing you these drugs?
He had to have known. I don't know how he wouldn't have known. because I'm sure they would have sent him the paperwork.
Mm-hmm. And he just went on business as usual.
He's not a nice man. He doesn't care.
Yeah. Do you suspect the medication had something to do with the miscarriage?
Yeah, I think about that a lot.
Yeah.
It's hard to think about.
Yeah.
You know, I wanted like 6 kids. I'm more than happy that I have one, don't get me wrong, but I just wanted a really big family.
Yeah. Yeah, no kidding.
So yeah, if you're pregnant, don't use fentanyl.
Yeah. So, how are your relationships today with friends and family? Are they being repaired? Are you able to go into the community and have healthy relationships?
You know, a lot of my relationships are being repaired, but you know, it takes a lot of time and patience because that's just the way it is. I went to my grandma's 86th birthday party and I walked in and my one aunt screamed, "Old Jen's back." So
Yeah,
that was nice that they noticed.
We've got Chantel commenting with a big old heart. Jenny Churchill, good to see you. Jenny's saying, I'm sorry you lost your baby. Hugs, mama. And we've got Donna. Yeah, we've got Donna commenting, I'm so sorry to hear about your experiences during that time. Yeah, I think we all are. That's tragic. Well, is there anything that you'd like to leave us with tonight?
I think, well, taking suboxone, I think it's a really good decision because your life is just going to get better and better. You know, once you get off the hard stuff and you're on suboxone, you can eventually get off that too. So it's worth trying. I love being sober. I enjoy life so much more than I ever have.
Awesome. Okay. Well, Jennifer, thank you so much for your time tonight. We will let you go. Take care, my friend.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. Good night.
Good night.
There is power in numbers. If you would like to contribute to ending the stigma around emotional pain, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Facebook, Twitch, and Instagram. Like and comment your thoughts on our posts. Let us come together with our lived and living experience as a resource that has the power to engage new thought processes, to promote new ideas, to broaden the spectrum of care, and to show the world the lie is dead. We can recover. There is a safer way, and we're here to show you how. Good night.